Whether you're on vacation or simply want to try a new lake near home, fishing unfamiliar waters can be a bit intimidating. Up next, Fish Ed host Jon Thelen shares straightforward advice on how a combination of pre-trip research and high-percentage search tactics can help you catch fish your first time out.
There's one. Look at him chewing on it. You can see him eating it. There, we got him. That one feels like he might be a decent one. He was just chewing on that thing. And sometimes you almost got to just play a tug of war with him when you're pulling spinners. Look at that. That's a great eater walleye to start our day right there. And that guy, he's on a spot where, to be honest with you, I had no idea this morning when we pulled up here if there were going to be fish here or not. And here's why. I'm on a body of water today that I don't fish a lot. I'm going to have to figure fish out as I go today. And walleyes like that one, I should be able to pinpoint them. I should be able to get them figured out based on several factors. And I'll tell you, back in the day when I was tournament fishing, I had to go to bodies of water and I had to figure out how to catch fish. Turn that aerator on here and we'll get this fish in the well. But I had to go places and figure out how to catch fish and figure it out really quick. And it's probably, as far as I'm concerned, the hardest part of fishing is figuring out when you pull into a new body of water exactly how to catch fish. It shouldn't be as complicated. And over the years, I kind of learned some different things that have really helped me narrow it down a lot quicker. And I'm going to show you some of those today. And we'll talk about a few of them because the truth of the matter is you should be able to roll into a lot of bodies of water and with just a few simple progressions, work your way through it and end up in a spot where you can find fish and then be able to get on them and get on them over and over and over. It's really not as complicated as it looks or as it sounds. And I'll tell you what, there are a lot of days that I went that I didn't catch them, but over the years I've just kind of learned the way to work my way through a few different progressions. So let's get down there, let's get another one and see if we can't make this a real productive spot today. I'm going to talk about a tough day to figure out a new lake. Northeast wind is cold. It's middle of summer right now, you know, or I like to say it's the middle of summer. The kids are out of school, you know, we're headed toward the end of June here. And you would think you'd have some warm weather. It was 48 degrees this morning driving the truck over here to the launch. It's just a cold front. So one of the things I'll do, especially when I'm fishing new waters, you know, I'll do a lot of looking at that map before we come out in the morning and just trying to figure out areas that I can fish based on the wind. But understand this, I want to be where there is wind. One of the things I'm able to do is eliminate about half of the body of water because I want to fish walleyes where there's a little bit of wind. So anything over on that northeast side of the lake today, I'm not even going to mess with. I'll mess with that tomorrow when the wind shifts to the south. But today, I'm just going to mess around with stuff over here on the west side of the lake where I've got windswept stuff where the bait's moving, the whole system's churning, and that's going to make the walleyes more active. If you can find a spot where the walleyes are active, especially when you're fishing a lake for the first time, you're going to have a better chance of catching them. There's nothing worse than fishing an area where the fish aren't active when you don't really know what you're doing because all of a sudden you might rule out spots that are normally really good when the conditions are right. There he is. Almost feels like he might be a little bit better. He's got a little more weight. He's just kind of sitting still on me down there. Yeah, it feels like a pretty good walleye right here. I'm assuming it's a walleye anyway. I haven't seen anything else on this spot here this morning. Wouldn't surprise me though if a few pike live in the area. Oh yeah, it's a great eye right there. Great dinner eye. Perfect fish. Another one of the things I do that I think makes a big, big difference when I'm looking for fish. Fish like that one right there. When I'm out looking for these fish, I'm trying to use a presentation that allows me to move pretty quick. And even in this cold front today, and it might be part of the reason I'm catching some, you know, some of the medium-sized to smaller-sized fish, although that 15-inch walleye, he's a perfect dinner fish. But here's the thing I like to do. If I can move a little bit quicker and cover ground, it's going to enable me to get on to the next spot if I don't find them here. So one of the best ways I know how to do that is with a spinner. And I'm going to show you what I'm using here, because this spinner system has been around forever, and it's one of the best selling of all time. This is a Little Joe crawler harness. Little Joe makes a whole variety of spinners and crawler harnesses, and a spinner being a single hook version, you can get that for a minnow, you can get it to run a crawler or a leech, or you can get a harness like this Little Joe crawler harness. Man, I'll tell you what, hammered gold is a great color, but it comes in a whole pile of different colors. I usually like to start in a lot of those hammered golds, hammered silvers, and then work my way through colors, especially on these cloudy days. But what's really neat about these things is they come pre-tied, so all I gotta do pop that bottom bouncer on there. I just tie that to the main line, and then it comes with a loop already tied. So it's real simple. I just clip it on my bottom bouncer and I go fishing. Now here's the other thing that's really neat. There's times when long leaders can make a difference, but for the most part, when you're pulling spinners, I think it's kind of a 50-50 deal. In fact, I think there's some days where a shorter lead is better because it stays up a little bit higher, because that bottom bouncer's holding it up off the bottom, and when you slow down, it doesn't have the chance to drop down into the bottom. So I'll tell you, you know, when you're sitting there walking through the store and trying to figure out what you're going to take with you on your next vacation, Little Joe makes, in my opinion, one of the best crawler harnesses and spinner rigs out there, and you can just clip it on and go fishing. It's also great for kids, because one of the things I'll tell you, and I think we've all been here, when you're using that long lead, a lot of times you're way up here with the rod trying to net a fish because you can't reel it any further past that tip on a 6-foot snell. This snell makes it so simple, so it just makes it really, really easy to fish, and it's just a very productive rig. And in a day like today where I'm out looking for fish and I want to cover ground pretty fast, I'll tell you what, I don't think there's anything better than a spinner system. We'll drop that thing right back down there and see if we can't get us another one. We're well on our way to a great morning here. Good one. I think they're all good. You know, there's none of them that aren't good today. Look at that. Man, this has turned into a pretty doggone good spot this morning. We'll take fish like this all day, every day of the week. Look at that one. Pop that out of there. Look at that fish. That'll wrap up a limit this morning. Look at that, man, that's a ton of fun to catch. And you can come out here and do this. Just go through some of those progressions. Look at your seasonal progressions. Look at your daily progressions. Pick areas where you got a little bit of wind and get some of that information we talked about. And you can come out and you can put together a day just like this. And I'll tell you what, this has just been a fun morning. And it's been a fun morning on a spot on a lake that I've never fished. And that's pretty cool. I just enjoy getting out fishing, and I really enjoy cracking the code. You can do the same thing.